Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I just finished filming kind of the unboxing explanation thing. I didn't even change, so I'm sorry. But I did want to do a little story time about the past 2 weeks and what happened and learning points that you guys can utilize right now. So this is kind of just a rough story time, try not to do what I did time. So about 3 weeks ago, my proofreader contacted me and said that she would not be able to proofread my book any longer. And that sent me into a panicked frenzy of panic because I didn't have a proofreader and I had already locked her in with kind of a bundle price. So then I knew I was going to be spending even more money than what I had spent booking her. I obviously didn't have to pay for the proofreading through her, but I had to last minute try to find a proofreader and it was going to be much more expensive and it was gonna have to be rushed. So that was kind of my start to February, I think. I don't remember exactly what day. I feel like I wanted to just not think about it too much, how close it was to the actual publication. So I spent 5 days after that, at that point, trying to find another proofreader because the book was ready to go to a proofreader. And I used Reedsy. So I might be doing a video on Reedsy here shortly, so stay tuned for that. But I used Reedsy, which is basically a service that hooks up authors with cover designers, editors, website designers, anything related to the book world, the book business, author business, anything like that. So I had some proofreaders or some editors from before, people that I had gotten sample chapters from for developmental edits and copy lines and stuff that did proofreading, but since this was so short notice, I was just freaked out that nobody was gonna be available. My book was not gonna be proofread, so I was having all these panic nightmare scenarios in my head. So I was able to find, I asked for 5 different people for quotes on Reedsy, and I think 3 of them got back to me, 2 of them never got back to me. 3 of them got back to me, and then from those 3, I chose one within 5 days of me posting that on Reedsy. So proofreader told me they couldn't do it. 5 days later, I had another proofreader. So sent the book off to be proofread. That took about a week. And then I had to make my own edits or I had to go through her suggestions and everything, which get a proofreader because I can't even tell you how many people looked at my book in this final phase, the last round of editing that I did. I can't tell you how many people looked at my book. I've obviously been looking at it for 3 years. There were so many little mistakes, instead of it would be he, or not to say but they didn't jump out to me. They didn't jump out to my beta readers, anybody that I was having read my book. So get one because mistakes slip through the cracks and then you might be making grammatical errors that you don't know about, which I was. It was to do with the use of commas. So absolutely get a proofreader. I ended up, full disclosure, I had to spend $1,000 on a proofreader. That was more than I had anticipated spending just because I had a bundle price before and then now I didn't. And it was a rush last minute order. So because of the whole proofreading thing, it basically pushed my schedule back a week. At this point, I think I had by February 7th, I was supposed to be able to format everything and finalize everything so that by the 14th, which was almost a week before publication, I would be able to upload to CreateSpace, Ingram Spark, the KDP, all the platforms to make sure everything was kosher and that there would be no issues. That didn't happen. So because of the proofreader, everything got pushed back a week. So I pretty much had I had to squeeze in everything. I didn't pull any all-nighters, but I had to stay up late. I had to keep working. I would come home immediately from work, come home and go to my computer, sit there all day. We had a lot of fast food. It was stressful. I didn't get to de-stress for a while and that's why I got burnt out. If you watched my previous video about my book unboxing, I got burned out and resulted in the week of publication the week of release, I hardly did any marketing that I should have been doing that was on my marketing plan because I just was exhausted at that point. So the other issue that happened, I had two more big issues. One of them, create space. So when I was finally able to format everything and get everything finalized and was trying to not lose my mind, I uploaded to Create Space. Apparently they randomly select people to do this. I don't know if it was because I had set up pre-orders before through Amazon Advantage and it flagged me in their system. I don't know what happened, but they selected my book to be like a content validation request, which is basically them asking me to provide proof that I own the copyright for the book and that the book is mine, which I respect, and I'm glad that they do that so they can catch people that are publishing work that's not their own. But of course it stressed me out. This happened on a Friday. Actually, I think, yes, this happened on a Friday or a Saturday morning, which they apparently don't work on the weekends. So I don't know how I got the email on Saturday morning. So my book was frozen. I couldn't do anything with it until this content validation went through. I sent the email Saturday, Sunday no word, Monday no word. I called on Monday. They said I should have heard something by now. Later on that day, I finally got an email saying that the content validation was approved and that my book should be, because it's in like a hold status, I don't remember what it was called, but you couldn't click on anything. You couldn't edit details, you couldn't do anything to the book. So it was still in that hold status even after they told me, okay, everything's good to go. Your book is now, it's yours. I still couldn't touch it. So I had to send a follow-up email. So then it was, I think like 2 days after that I was finally able to actually have access to my book. And because they were like, oh, it might take 24 hours for you to get access again. It took like 48 hours. So that took a while. All this time I'm freaking out because this was like the week of, I probably had less than 7 days for the paperback when all of this was happening. So that pushed it back. That pushed it back 5 days. So it was the paperback. So I was freaking out about that. Finally got that figured out, and then it was my own fault, but when I formatted my book, I should have opened a whole new document to once the proofreader got back to me. I didn't, and that's my own fault. So I started sort of from scratch with the formatting. The formatting took me like 2 whole days to do just on its own. So my tip to you is to have all this stuff done way beforehand. I know things come up like my proofreader. I had it mapped out, but I didn't account for an error like this. And let me continue. I finally got everything all set up. My paperback book was set up. I needed to format the ebook. So I think I did the ebook within, I got home from work. It didn't take me very long. It maybe took me like a total of 4 hours to get the ebook set up and ready to go. So I had up until the 15th, I believe it was, to have my ebook uploaded and everything. The 14th I logged in, the 13th I logged in and everything was golden. I still had access. All my emails told me that I would have access until the 15th. So 14th rolls around when I finally get everything done and all ebook ready and everything. I go to upload it on the 14th to KDP and I'm locked out. And they lock you out in advance, like the emails that I was getting, they lock you out in advance so they can like get ready for publication, so there's not last minute changes, so people actually get the book that they pre-ordered and it's delivered in a timely manner to them. I understand that, but I was locked out early, and then this was just before weekend, so I was not able to get any assistance, get that much assistance basically until Monday, the day before publication. So my book, and if you follow me on Twitter, you probably saw me like posting some things. I had uploaded, when I first put the book up for pre-order, I uploaded, it was like half the book. It wasn't formatted because it was just like, oh, I have to just put a file in here, put something in there to have it on KDP, just available for pre-order. And that was the book that people got. If you pre-ordered the ebook, that was the first book that you got. Amazon's only solution to this, one, they put in they had their tech people trying to figure out why I was locked out early. and why it was so early because I think it's supposed to be like 3 days before publication, or I don't remember what the specific specificities of it are. That's why I feel like I kind of checked out, because I was like, whatever, I just like, tell me the solution. So I was on the phone with them for a while, emailing back and forth with people for a while, and the only solution was for me to, on the midnight of the night of publication, I would have access back into the KDP, re-upload the final document, and then email Amazon, and they would expedite that process to push out the updated book. So the lot of people that pre-ordered my book were gonna get a crappy copy. So I wasn't happy about that, and particularly because I had emails that said I had access until the 15th, and I didn't. And that was what, like, cause I had planned for that, of all the craziness that was happening. I was worried about getting the paperback book on, like, up in time, because I knew I had like until the 15th for the ebook. So I had planned it out, like I was already freaking out about the paperback and all the proofreading and all that stuff. And then this happened. And this was what sort of pushed me over the edge, because I had to stay up on Monday night until midnight of publication. So it was basically, my book was available for purchase. And by the way, I have a day job where I had to get up at 5:30 in the morning. So I transferred over all of my pre-orders, my Amazon Advantage stuff, because I was already up. I did all that stuff and waited until midnight to upload the copy. I sent the email, and then in the morning when I woke up, my expedited service from the individual Amazon person that I spoke to was not expedited. And I don't think I received an email from them for 48 hours. Like, the guy that was on the phone with me was like, yeah, I'll personally do it. I'll, you know, within 12 hours, everyone will receive an email. And that took 48 hours. I'm pretty sure it was 48 hours. So that didn't work out how it was supposed to. And my advice, like I said, is just do everything early. Don't rely on their emails telling you when you're gonna be locked out, because I was locked out early. I know they're supposed to lock you out early, but I was locked out earlier than I was supposed to be. So I feel like it was a little bit of a hectic. It's kind of like small things popping up. They feel big to me. In 6 months from now, I'll probably look back and be like, oh, that wasn't a big deal. But all of this sort of culminated in me waking up Tuesday morning and it not really feeling like I'm a published author, because I had all this anxiety and worry and stress and freak out moments up until Tuesday. That Tuesday came and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I wasn't depressed, but I needed some personal time. So that's why I've kind of been a little absent this week, why I did not stick to my marketing plan like I had wanted to. So that is my publication story. I hope it goes smoother for all of you guys self-publishing. I still believe in self-publishing and I still would do it again. I would just try to do it a little earlier. I couldn't really because of the proofreader thing, but anyway, I learned from it. I know what to do now, and I won't make the same mistakes again. The same mistakes that I made. I can't control outside things, but I can control what I did. I should have done things earlier. I should have scheduled my proofreader earlier, all that stuff. But after all of that, this book was born, finally. But oh my gosh, look at that cover. It's so beautiful. Love it. I said this at the end of my last video. I do have a link for signed copies on my website. So if you would like to order a signed copy, that is available. Oh, and my content validation request, because I had extra time. I made one more change to the book. I re-uploaded it, and then when I re-uploaded it, I got flagged for another content validation, so my book was locked again. So that like all of this, and I received an email from CreateSpace saying, oh, we apologize, your book was flagged for content validation again when you already did it. No further action is required on your part, but I was still locked out of my book. So that was an experience. I feel like I don't even want to think about it too much anymore to like remember what else happened, because I don't want to stress out about it anymore. I just want to pretend it never happened. This is the end result. That's the important thing. My book is out in the world. You guys can read it. It is 400 pages of my brainchild. Also, if you have already read my book, I would so appreciate it if you posted a review to Goodreads or to Amazon or your blog or on YouTube or anywhere, or post a picture to Instagram and tag me in it, because I love it. Thank you to everybody who has posted a review. Thank you. All right, I will see you guys next time. Bye.